You think your kindness is a virtue, don't you? You believe that being the bigger person and absorbing everyone's toxic energy makes you noble. What a joke. You're not noble. You're a doormat with a martyr complex. You've convinced yourself that your willingness to be disrespected is a sign of spiritual enlightenment, when it's really just a profound lack of self-worth. You pray for peace while inviting chaos into your home for dinner every night. If this foolish cycle feels familiar, it's because your soul has dragged you here to finally break it. This message isn't an accident, it's an intervention. Tonight, your career as a volunteer punching bag is officially over. If this is the wake-up call you've been waiting for, consider liking and subscribing, because your real training begins now. There are no accidents. You didn't just stumble upon this message. You pulled it into your orbit because your spirit has been screaming for a change. You've felt it building, haven't you? That pressure behind your eyes, that restlessness in your soul. That's not anxiety, chosen one. That's the prelude to a revolution. Because tonight, the universe is about to terminate a contract you never realized you signed. The agreement to be small so that others could feel big. If you genuinely enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Let's be brutally honest about how you've been living. You think you're being kind, flexible, and easygoing. You call it keeping the peace when you bite your tongue. You tell yourself you're being the bigger person when you absorb someone's bad energy and smile through it. But the universe sees it for what it is: cowardice. You have been playing the role of the social chameleon, changing your colors, your energy, and your truth to match the dead leaves and dirty wallpaper of every room you enter. You think this makes you adaptable? No, it makes you invisible. It's a foolish game where the prize for winning is forgetting who you are. You've spent years mastering the art of becoming whatever everyone else needed you to be. The listener for the narcissist, the cheerleader for the insecure, the scapegoat for the guilty. And you took pride in this. You actually believed your ability to tolerate disrespect was a sign of strength. What a pathetic delusion. Tonight, that ends. The camouflage is being ripped from your skin. This isn't something you need to learn to do. It's a switch that is being flipped inside of you, an activation that is not optional. From this moment forward, your very presence becomes a tuning fork for truth. Imagine a room full of musicians, all playing cheap, out-of-tune instruments. They've been playing together for so long that the horrible, clashing noise sounds normal to them. They praise each other's sour notes. They celebrate the discord because it's all they know. Now imagine you walk into that room holding a perfectly tuned instrument. You don't have to play it loudly. You don't have to give a speech about musical theory. You don't have to correct anyone. You simply have to exist. The pure, perfect note radiating from you makes their noise unbearable. Suddenly, they can hear how off-key they are. Your clarity doesn't just expose them, it makes them sick. This is what you are becoming tonight. You will walk into rooms, and the frequency of your authenticity will make the liars and performers physically uncomfortable. You've been making the mistake of thinking it's your job to adjust your frequency to match theirs. You dim your light, you flatten your energy, you swallow your truth, all in a desperate attempt to make the out-of-tune orchestra feel better about their noise. You thought this was kindness. It was a betrayal of your own soul. The universe is now revoking your ability to do this. Your system will no longer allow you to play out of tune. Watch what happens. The people who built their entire personality on a foundation of lies will start to avoid your gaze. The manipulators who relied on your empathy to fuel their games will suddenly find their tricks don't work on you. They'll try the same old tactics, the guilt trips, the sob stories, the subtle digs. But it will feel like they're speaking a language you no longer understand. Their words will just be noise, because your spirit is now tuned to a frequency that doesn't even register deception. They will call you cold. They will call you intimidating. They will say you've changed. And you will feel a profound sense of peace as they say it, because for the first time, you'll understand they are not describing you. They are confessing that their illusions can't survive in your presence. You assume you need to say something. to confront them, to have a big dramatic moment of truth. You're wrong. Your transformation is silent, but it is deafening to them. You will stop over-explaining yourself. You will stop seeking validation from people who are spiritually bankrupt. You will stop asking for permission to take up space. The shift happens in the quiet moments. When you let a text go unanswered without feeling guilty. When you choose to stay home instead of attending an event that would drain you. When you look someone in the eye and say no without a 10-minute apology attached to it. Each of these small acts is a declaration of sovereignty. It's you, finally choosing your own pure note over their comfortable chaos. This path isn't about making friends, it's about revealing them. The ones who are genuinely in tune with truth will be drawn to you like never before. They will feel a sense of relief in your presence because they too are tired of the noise. But the majority, the performers, the pretenders, the parasites, they will recoil, they will gossip, they will try to paint you as the villain. Let them. Their reaction is their report card, not yours. It's the final exam they didn't know they were taking, and your presence is the only question on the test. Drop a no more hiding in the comments below if you are ready to shed the camouflage, and let your true frequency ring out. The most foolish thing you've done is believe that your sensitivity was a weakness. You feel everything so deeply. The shifts in energy, the unspoken tensions, the dishonesty behind a smile. You thought this was a curse that made you fragile. You couldn't have been more wrong. That sensitivity wasn't a weakness. It was a high-powered surveillance system. The universe gave you the most advanced energetic radar on the planet, and you were using it to apologize for being perceptive. You felt the lie, and instead of trusting your gut, you blamed yourself for being too sensitive. You sensed the manipulation, and you told yourself you were overthinking it. Tonight, that radar is coming fully online, and the user manual is being downloaded directly into your soul. You will no longer doubt what you feel. Your feelings are not suggestions. They are data. They are the most accurate intelligence you will ever receive. The unease in your stomach is a blaring alarm. The sudden drain in your energy is a red flag. The knot in your throat is a final verdict. You will start trusting these signals with more faith than you ever put in anyone's words. And the moment you do, you become untouchable, because you can't cheat a person who reads energy. You can't lie to a soul that feels truth. This is the end of your camouflage. Welcome to the beginning of your clarity. Now that the camouflage is gone, you need to understand what happens next, because you're about to become a force of nature. You foolishly believe that when people are exposed, they will thank you for the truth. You imagine they'll have a moment of clarity, apologize, and change their ways. This is a childish fantasy you hold on to because you still want to be the hero who saves everyone. You need to let that go. The truth is, when you become the pure note in the room, you don't inspire the out-of-tune musicians to get better. You make them want to smash your instrument. Welcome to the collapse of their stage. For years, you have been a willing audience member for the terrible plays other people call their lives. You've sat through their tragedies, their comedies of error, and their boring monologues. You gave them your attention, your energy, and your validation as they performed on their rickety little stages. You thought you were being a supportive friend, a loving family member, a good partner. What you really were was a ticket buyer for a fraudulent show. You paid with your peace of mind to watch them act out roles they were never meant to play. The victim, the martyr, the misunderstood genius. And the worst part? You let them cast you in their productions. You learned the lines they wrote for you, the role of the problem, the sensitive one, the one who is always too much. Tonight, you are no longer an actor, and you are no longer in the audience. You have become the house lights, flicking on in the middle of the most dramatic scene. Suddenly, the illusion is shattered. The king is just a man in a paper crown. The beautiful castle is just painted plywood. The villain's terrifying sword is made of rubber. Your presence, in its silent, unwavering authenticity, ruins their entire production. You don't need to boo or heckle. Your refusal to play along, is what brings the whole set crashing down. Think about it this way. A manipulator is like a puppeteer. Their power comes from the strings they attach to everyone around them. Strings of guilt, obligation, fear, and a desperate need for approval. You spent years dancing on their strings, believing that the constant yanking and pulling was just the normal rhythm of life. You thought the pain was love. You assumed the confusion was your own fault. But the transformation happening inside you is severing every one of those strings. And when a puppet cuts its own strings, it doesn't just free itself. It creates a crisis for the puppeteer. They will panic. Their hands will twitch, pulling on strings that are no longer attached to you. They will try to reattach them with desperate tactics. They'll bring up the past, reminding you of all the times you needed them. They'll manufacture a crisis, hoping you'll rush in to play the savior again. They'll recruit other puppets to tell you how selfish you've become. They will do anything to get you back on the stage, back under their control. Why? Because a puppeteer with no puppets is just a lonely person holding a bunch of useless string. Your freedom doesn't just liberate you, it exposes them as powerless. Your only job now is to stand still and let their stage collapse. You must resist the urge to rush in and save them from the falling props. When they scream that you've ruined everything, you must understand that all you did was stop pretending. They will accuse you of creating chaos, but the chaos was always there, hidden behind their cheap curtains. You are not the storm. You are the silence that follows it. The clarity that reveals the wreckage that was always present. This is the hardest part of your journey, chosen one. You have been programmed to be a fixer. Your empathy is a supercomputer that automatically scans for problems to solve. But your empathy has been used as a weapon against you. It was the entry point for every parasite, the open door for every thief of joy. Now, your empathy is being recalibrated. It will no longer be a weakness. It will become a diagnostic tool. You will still feel their pain, but you will no longer feel responsible for it. You will recognize it as the natural consequence of a life built on lies. You will watch them flail and panic, and you will feel a calm, divine detachment. It is the detachment of a doctor who can diagnose a disease without catching it. This is a profound shift. You are moving from being a participant in their drama to being an observer of cosmic law. The law is simple. What is fake cannot stand in the presence of what is real, and you, chosen one, have become unbearably real. Type, "The show is over," in the comments if you're done playing a part in their drama. They will try to lure you back in by appealing to your old self. What happened to the person who used to be so caring? They'll ask. This is a trap. They aren't asking about the real you. They're asking about the programmable, controllable version of you that they miss. The you that would absorb their poison and call it love. The you that would sacrifice your own well-being on the altar of their comfort. When they say, "You've changed," what they're really screaming is, "You've stopped being useful to me." Your response is not to argue. It is not to defend your growth. Your response is a quiet, internal knowing. Your silence will become the most powerful statement you've ever made. In this new stage, your environment will begin to react to your frequency. The people who are meant to be in your life will find the change refreshing. They'll feel like they can finally breathe around you. But the ones who thrived in the toxic, low-frequency environment you used to tolerate will start to self-eject. They will create arguments out of thin air. They will accuse you of things you never did. They will stage a dramatic exit, all in an attempt to make you feel the loss. But you won't feel loss. You will feel lightness. You will feel the profound relief of a space that has finally been cleared of dust, mold, and ghosts. You are not losing people. You are shedding weight. You are detoxing your life, and the withdrawal symptoms are all theirs, not yours. You are becoming the clean room where their bacteria simply cannot survive. You have survived the activation. You have weathered the collapse. You have walked out of the rubble of their fallen stages, and severed every string that once made you dance. Now you stand in the quiet aftermath, and you make the final, most foolish mistake of all. You think, the war is over. You believe that because you've changed, the world will simply leave you alone. You think your newfound clarity is a shield that will magically repel all future attacks. How naive you still are. Your evolution doesn't end the war, chosen one. It just changes the battlefield. The enemy is no longer trying to control you. They are now trying to contaminate you. They see your peace, your glow, your stability, and they despise it because it is a living monument to their own failure. They can no longer pull your strings, so now they will try to poison your well. And you, in your blissful newness, think a boundary is enough to protect you. You think saying no is the ultimate weapon. A boundary, as you understand it, is a polite request. It's a flimsy velvet rope that you hope people will be decent enough not to cross. That is not a boundary. It's a joke, and the consolation prize you call self-care, a bubble bath, a weekend off, is not a strategy. It's the pathetic reward you give yourself for letting your kingdom be raided all week. Tonight, you stop being a citizen asking for rights. You become the unbreakable sovereign. Your soul is not a democracy where everyone gets a vote. It is a kingdom, and you are its absolute ruler. Your energy, your attention, and your peace are its crown jewels. For years, you have allowed peasants, fools, and foreign spies to wander freely through your palace, muddying the floors and stealing your treasures. You let their opinions become your laws. You let their moods dictate your weather. That ends now. A true sovereign does not negotiate their borders. They fortify them. From this moment on, your energy field is no longer an open field. It is a walled kingdom with one gate, and you are the only guard. Access to you is not a right. It is a privilege earned through loyalty, authenticity, and respect. It is not granted based on blood relation, history, or titles. If your own mother shows up at the gate with an army of guilt, the gate stays closed. If your oldest friend arrives bearing gifts of gossip and drama, the gate stays closed. If a charming lover appears with empty promises, the gate stays closed. You are no longer running a soup kitchen for energy vampires. The price of admission to your kingdom is peace, and anyone who cannot pay it is turned away without apology. Think of your soul as a deep-sea vessel, built to explore the darkest, most crushing depths of the ocean. The pressure down there is immense, the weight of all that darkness, all that cold, all that unknown. A weak vessel would be crushed instantly, but you are not weak. Every betrayal you endured, every tear you shed, every moment you survived alone, that wasn't suffering. That was the universe reinforcing your hull. It was welding your seams shut. It was installing a power source inside you that generates its own light and its own air. The pressure outside can no longer implode you because the integrity inside is absolute. You don't fight the ocean. You simply exist within it, untouched, unmoved, and self-sustaining. This is what you have become. The gossip, the jealousy, the hatred from others. It's all just deep-sea pressure now. It cannot touch the sovereign light within your vessel. This is why your peace has become so profoundly irritating to them. Your joy is a judgment. Your wholeness is a verdict. They attack you, and you do not react. They slander you, and you do not defend yourself. They create chaos, and you remain still. You have made the monumental error of believing you have to participate in every battle you are invited to. You thought your silence was weakness. Now you will understand that your silence is the battlefield where all of their weapons rust and decay. They need your reaction. They need your anger, your tears, your explanations. Your energy is the fuel for their fire. And you, chosen one, have become a fireproof vault. When you deny them your reaction, their fire burns out. They are left alone in the dark, choking on their own smoke. This is the final law of power you must learn. You are no longer in the business of proving them wrong. Your life is the proof. You don't need to post your successes to spite them. You don't need to craft the perfect comeback. You simply need to live and live well. Your thriving is the closing argument. Your stability is the final judgment. Every morning you wake up with peace in your heart is another nail in the coffin of their narrative. They swore you would be nothing without them. Your serene, beautiful, sovereign life is the scripture that proves them liars. And so, the transformation is complete. The chameleon is gone. The puppet is free. The actor has left the stage. In their place stands the sovereign, ruler of a kingdom of one. You are not just a person anymore. You are a presence. You are a standard. You are the verdict. They will watch you from a distance, confused, angry, and sometimes, in their quietest moments of despair, they will feel a flicker of awe. Because you became the one thing they never thought was possible. Free. Tonight is not just another night. It is your coronation. Welcome to your reign.